This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Podcast, the Becker Business Minute Podcast. The subject today is timing the market. 2 quick points. So the first point is that unless you're some kind of crazy type of genius like Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, you can't time the market. The hubris of the believing that you can time the market is, I think, one of these incredibly wrong types of perspectives on investing in stocks and bonds. If you told me the market was going to crash last week based on potentially Silicon Valley Bank getting hit hard and then was going to recover this morning based on the government adding more liquidity, God bless you. But 99.9% of us, I am certain, cannot time the market. So don't try and time the market. Second, this leads to a point we talk about often, which is you need to have an allocation of stocks to bonds that you could live with through good times and bad times. I'm a huge believer in that. If you have the right allocation, you could stomach what happened last week in the market, you could stomach what's happening this morning with the market, and largely come out okay. And that depends, that allocation of equities to bonds versus cash is going to differ for all of us, what we could all live with and we're most comfortable with. Again, the more you're long equities for the long run, at least historically, the better results you've had over 50 years, but the more blips you're going to have year in, year out. I, for one, cannot live with all those blips because my stomach's not made for that, maybe a weak stomach, whatever you want to call it. So my allocation is nowhere near 100% equities to 0% bonds. But it's really a matter of figuring out what you can live with so that when things go up and down, you can live with them knowing that for the long run, you're probably going to be okay. And so there's 2 quick points today. You can't time the market. I don't know who you think you are or who thinks they can't time the market. Maybe a couple of the greatest investors of all time could do it. The rest of us cannot. Second is you need an allocation that you could live with that leaves you anti-fragile to the markets going ups and downs and that you could live with emotionally and so forth. Thank you for listening to the Becker Business Minute Podcast, the Becker Private Equity Podcast. 2 quick points. You can't time the market. Have an allocation you can live with. Thank you very much for joining us.